Stocks on the JSE have lagged other consumer-facing stocks this year. Some saying it's because the World Cup didn't translate into as many bed nights as expected. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, I mean we didn't get the numbers that we expected to get. I think it was in the order of 350,000 visitors to the country, but it was still substantial, and the exposure we got internationally was quite incredible.
Nick, do we have overcapacity at this stage? Of course, we saw a number of hotels being built around the country, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, ahead of the World Cup. Are we sitting with too many rooms at this stage?
Yes, but I think we've got to be clever. We've got to make sure that we're out there as a tourist body promoting the destination. I think we got such fantastic exposure during the World Cup that it really opened us up to a lot of new markets. So you know, we've got a lot of emerging markets coming through, South America, Central America, the Far East, the Middle East, and also one must remember that the traditional markets too, they still want to travel. There's still enough money around to travel, and seeing the weather conditions now in Europe, I'm sure they'll be wanting to come to our shores sooner rather than later.
Are we doing enough to promote ourselves as a tourist destination, Nick?
I think we are. I think the South African Tourist Body and I think our local tourist associations are out there beating the drum together with ourselves. I mean, I think tour operators in South Africa, hoteliers in South Africa are out there in the key destinations, in the destinations that really create our tourism. I think they're out there beating the drum quite loudly. And of course, as was said earlier, the infrastructures within the country have improved so much that you know, I really do believe that we will do extremely well in the year and the years to come.
So Nick, that's what I was going to ask. When do we actually get payback for all the investments in infrastructure in hotels? Are we going to see it this Christmas? Are we going to see it in 2011? When does it come back to us?
Yeah, obviously it always does quieten down after a big event. We had an especially busy event over the World Cup, but it quietened down a little bit. But I think we're going to expect quite a good Christmas, maybe not as good as former years because of world conditions, economic conditions, but I do believe that 2011 will see it coming back quite strongly, and in the years to come I believe we'll be building even more hotels. You know, I think you know, Cape Town is a fantastic destination, so you know, and other parts of South Africa too, the safari destinations are equally popular. I think the destination in itself will attract an incredible number of tourists over the years to come.
What are your bookings looking like this December at the Pepper Club, Nick?
They're actually looking very good. In fact, what we're finding is a lot of the bookings are very much last-minute bookings. So we're getting a lot of last-minute bookings both from local tourists, that's tourists travelling within South Africa, and from tourists further afield, from Europe, from England, not from the USA. It's not normally their time to travel, and also from South America. So we're seeing business coming through.
You do, of course, target the mid to top end of the market, don't you?
Yes, we do. Very much so. And obviously they are the people who tend to travel over the holiday period, the festive period, and actually right through till about the end of February, end of March. So it's a good time for tourism for us.
Is it too soon to start seeing those repeat bookings coming through from the World Cup? Of course, we had lots of Mexicans, lots of Americans coming to South Africa. Yes. You said this isn't the time for Americans to travel. Are we seeing Mexicans and Brazilians coming back already?
We're definitely seeing the South Americans travel. I think we're getting business from there, and I think that will continue to grow. We're seeing business out of the Far East, and a lot of that, of course, is because of all the exposure we got, the excellent exposure we got. But also, I don't know whether we're going to get quite the 80% of repeat business that was mentioned just recently, but even if we don't get the repeat business, what we have got is incredible ambassadors out there, because I think the experience that everybody had when they were in South Africa was quite incredible, and I think they've gone back, they've told their friends, they've told their families, and I think we're going to get a lot of business from them.
Nick, of course we know that some prices were raised during the World Cup, which is understandable. Have we seen those prices come down, and with the capacity in the market, are we seeing prices becoming affordable for South African travellers?
I definitely think so, yes. I don't think we can afford to go out there and charge the prices that we were doing in former times. I think even during the World Cup, we remained extremely flexible with our rates, and we're extremely flexible now. You know, I don't think now is the time to go out there with very high rates. I think we've got to make sure that the tourist continues coming through. I've always said a room not occupied for one night is a room lost forever. It's your stock in trade.